I've been a lawyer for a long time, and one of my pet peeves is when people tell me that's HIPAA. You've probably heard it, right? Something will come up involving something medical, and a person will talk like an expert and say, well, that's HIPAA, we can't talk about it. Well, that's nonsense. You can talk about it. Unless you work in the medical field, HIPAA really doesn't apply to you, doesn't apply to your coworkers, doesn't apply to your bosses or the people that you interact with on a regular basis. HIPAA is designed to keep medical records private within the healthcare industry. So if a health insurer has access to your medical records, they can't release them to somebody else. Certainly your doctor's office and the people who work there can't start talking about your medical treatment or your medical issues to third parties. But if somebody in your workplace has tested positive for COVID, that information could be shared with you. In fact, I would argue it should be shared with you. It's really important as we're trying to navigate our way through this pandemic, going on almost a year now, that people have good information and know whether or not there's COVID in their workplace. And if there is, we should all know about it. So if you hear that somebody's tested positive for COVID, or that a family member of somebody you work with has tested positive for COVID, you can share that information. It's important that people know. That's what contact tracing is all about. HIPAA doesn't apply. If somebody says to you, well, we can't talk about that because that's HIPAA, I'd be suspect. They probably don't know what they're talking about. And in all likelihood, HIPAA is not going to apply to that conversation.